Hello and good evening. We're going to continue where we left off with the Rubicon in Chapter 2. The second chapter of this book is, it's mostly a Storm Clouds Gathering style narrative, where Tom Holland just talks about a lot of different things that are troubling the senators of the Roman Empire. And he's trying to conjure up a feeling of foreboding by just talking about the sack of Carthage and rebellions in the east. And he finishes by talking about the social war, I believe it's called. It's called the social war. And he talks about Pompeius Strabus' role in the war. According to the book, he was the most hated man in Rome, although not at the time of this war. He had like cross eyes, and he was really greedy, and he was also wound up being the father of the famous Pompey. So, what I'm going to do for this chapter, I could legitimately fly over Carthage or the cities in the east. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on Pompeius' campaign. So let's switch over to the map here. His campaign begins in northern Italy up here somewhere. We'll say it's right there for fun. Comes down here. And now's a good time as any to talk about the actual nature of the war that he was fighting. There was a rebellion in Italy at about, and I think it was 75 BC. Close enough. 91 to 88 BC. And what happened was a lot of the Rome's Latin allies wanted citizenship. So they were ready to go to war to get it. And kind of at the last minute, Rome decided to go ahead and grant citizenship to everyone who wasn't currently in rebellion against Rome. So that kind of took the wind out of the rebellion, I think, was the narrative. So in this war, which you come right back to, Pompeius gathers an army up here in the north, marches down here to fight a battle against the rebels. He doesn't necessarily lose. It's kind of unclear whether he lost or was merely forced into an unfavorable stalemate. Either way, he retreats from this battle, which kind of sounds a little bit suspicious to me because you didn't really do a lot of retreats in battle. It was kind of just routes or victory. So that seems a little sketch. But anyway, he retreats from there, and I don't know his precise route, but we'll say it was something like this. Comes up this way, and subsequently gets ambushed and forced to take up a position inside the local regional capital, which was called Firmum. So at Firmum, he comes up with a fairly clever comes up with a fairly clever pincer maneuver, drives the enemy out of the area and forces them to retreat back down to this area right here, where there's a city called, and pronunciation gods are not with me today here, Asculum. Yeah, Asculum. So at Asculum, he invests the rebels themselves and starves them out for about a year. They surrender. He accepts their surrender, kills most everyone in the city, and goes back to Rome a hero. That's the story. So we're not gonna bother flying over this area right here. This was the Battle of Mount Falnaris. We don't really know much about it. By we, I mean me. I'm sure someone out there is an expert. But it's a long ways away from everyone else, and we don't really know what route he took or really anything. So screw it. Let's just start our flight up here and switch now to the main screen. Excellent. I'm going to switch to the main screen. There we go. Main screen turn All right, so we'll start right up here at. I'm not going to pronounce that. This airfield right here, it looks about right. I'm going to have to get in the air and get my bearings, but uh, looks like it should just about do it. So let's go ahead and load her up. It's going to be a long loading screen, and I hope you enjoy it as much as me. I'll come back and talk to you when the loading is complete. All right, here we are. I'm seeing this for the first time as well. It's what a 4,000 foot runway, or there 14,000 foot. No, what am I saying? That's not. This is a Skyhawk. I think it was a 4,000 foot runway, give or take, like 35. All right, and here we go. Probably. Will be a little bit while we get everything up and running. See, the initial choppiness will be replaced by merely a low frame rate. Okay, so let's actually look at this map because I don't really know much. Am I too far to the south? So survey says yeah, probably. It's down here. No. This is right. So let me switch over to the other map real quick. Do a little bit of on-the-fly research and switch to a normal map so I can see the rivers. Okay. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I am. Not going to get credit for doing my research before the quiz. Okay. So we have 1, 2. So right about here actually would be the place, and you can even see the little harbor there. So we're going to head up this way, and I expect we'll discover the town of Firmum, which is where we're going to start our adventure. Okay, so that's settled, and I need to remember to bring the screen back here. Yeah, so I was accidentally tabbed to the wrong screen, but what I'm going to do is I'm starting right about say like right here, and I'll need to go ahead and fly up this way to begin with, and then we can come down here to the little town of Asculum, which I think is where Asculum used to be. Okay, so here we go. Switch everybody to the main screen. Yeah, you can see right here on the VFR map that we want to be headed right up here. And you can see the little bay right there that sits across from the town of Firmum. Okay, so enough of talking. Maybe way too much talking even. And so let's go ahead and release the parking brake and get our behinds into the air. And hopefully everything will go well. No, away we go. Alright, we're up to liftoff speed. Let's get our behinds in the air. Okay. And here we go. We didn't have any flaps for takeoff, so we're just good to slowly turn. Try to keep our vertical speed down to something reasonable. And here we go. I haven't given it much thought what height I want to cruise at, but it looks like whatever it takes to make the land look pretty, I guess. Oh, that's a nice flying. Yeah, I really need to invest in a pair of rudder pedals. I'm not ever going to get the knack of swinging the joystick. So here we are. We'll just go ahead and cruise up. I don't know, 3,000 sounds good. And in a few minutes, we should be over our... I'm going to stop calling it a target area. That doesn't feel right. I'm going to be over our sightseeing destination. We'll call it that. It does feel very smooth up here. Without so many buildings, the frame rate's just fantastic. It's kind of a shame that this doesn't run better on a last-gen machine, but you know, I am shopping for an excuse to buy a new computer, and I don't know if you guys saw NVIDIA's graphics cards, but that looks pretty hot. I might be having me some of that at Christmas time. Alright, we're only at 2,000 feet, but actually it's kind of feeling kind of good. I don't know if I want to go any higher right now. So we're going to reduce power, trim down a little bit. Let's see where that gets us. So in this story, I'm calling it a story because it's a narrative history, and history is mostly just bunk anyway. So, in the story, this Pompeius guy had gone shopping on the coast for lots of land to put his plantations and his mansions, and this was part of his territory, I guess. The story is the book is kind of unclear. It's more interested in the storm clouds than the facts. But from what I gather, he had a lot of land in this area, and he was kind of a greedy bastard as well. All right, let's definitely lose. There we go. He was known for his avarice. So he had a lot of land here and a lot of people that he could draw on, and the sense that I got from this was that he was using private resources to rout the rebels. Although again, unclear. Alright, we are coming up on the area. Before we get too much closer, I'm going to do an active pause and switch over to the main map so that we can take a look here. Yeah. So we're coming up on this area right here, and this is our port. Let me zoom in to make sure I'm not doing it wrong. I might be doing it wrong. This doesn't feel right. How embarrassing would it be if I was in the wrong area? Can't be too far off. Oh, come on. This feels like it ought to be the right place. Yeah. Okay, there is a place right here that matches that. We'll say it's all in order. We'll say it's in order, and we'll say that's Firmum in front of us here. Okay, I just had to check. Back to the main window, everyone. Here we go. Now, as it happens, I have seen this place from the air, from the satellite images. So I should be able to recognize whether or not this is the spot. Yeah, that looks right. That all looks right. Okay, we definitely want to stop assuming. I'm going to be a bit more aggressive about the area. So yeah, you can see over here the vertical speed, and I'm trying to keep that pretty close to 0, but it's been at 200 for longer than a more responsible pilot would have allowed. Pause it real quick. Pause it real quick. And we have the active pause bug here where the airspeed is dropping, so I might fall out of the sky when this is done, but oh well. Oh well. Okay, let's come back over here, satellite, and I'm going to zoom in to make sure that everything is all in order. Okay, so it's on top of a hill. Overlooking this creek up ahead. So if we come back to the window here, we're looking for something that resembles that. So behind us? I think that might be it behind us. Yeah. Okay, so let's switch to the drone and I don't know. Is that real? They all look the same. Could be this. In fact, I think it is. I think that is it. Yeah, because the map didn't really have anything past Firmum, but it had a lot of little trailing towns on the road leading up to it. So let's go ahead and assume that this is it right here. And I'm going to go ahead and fly the plane a little closer before we... There, fall right out of the sky before my airspeed comes back up. Here, let's help things. Alright, back down with the airspeed. Alright, this looks like Firmum. Let's see about this Firmum. So for those of you who have not been following along closely with the narrative, I don't blame you. It's kind of a hard narrative to follow. The narrative is that the General Pompeius and the remnants of his army were besieged here at this regional capital. And you can see it's on top of a hill. It's the things that I read made it sound like nobody really knows for sure even how the administrative sectors were broken up at this period. But at any rate, this area was a local capital, and therefore that's where he decided to hole up after he got ambushed. So let's go ahead and break out here to the drone. Okay. And make it go faster. Rotate the nose. Much faster. Okay, so here we are over Firmum, and I think that the situation was that, and again it's a little unclear, but all this area out here, I'm gonna I can't really write an E with this drawing tool because I'm not that good, but I think the idea was that they were camped. They, being the enemy rebels, were camped all along the west side of the city. So Pompeo was able to defeat them with a pincer maneuver. He had someone sally out this way, and then he had someone come around and encircle them from behind. And again, according to the story, it was kind of in the balance for a little bit. Like it wasn't clear that this tactic was actually going to bear fruit. He might get his butt kicked again. But then, towards the end of the fighting, someone set the rebels' camp alight down here on fire, and the fire, according to the story, tilted the balance in favor of Pompeius, and the enemy army retreated, and Firmum was saved for posterity. So let's go ahead and bid this area a fond farewell. First of all, by clearing the screen. Boom. Okay, and let's go ahead and find our way back to the plane. I did not configure it so that I could reattach the drone to the plane. I might have to do that. Oh well. Oh well. We're finished here, and now we're going to follow the route that Pompeo followed to hound the rebels back to their city. Now, I don't actually have a clear picture Um, but it was a longer trip, we'll say. I'm gonna bring the map back on screen for a second. Um, so what would have happened is after he defeated his enemies over here at Firmo rather, uh, he marched after the retreating rebels um, back down towards the city of Asculum, which today I think is called Ascoli. I'm not 100% on it, but it's the same geographic location, and I have just about had it with digging up obscure historically themed websites. So we're going to assume that's it. It's the right place, so that's it. Let's go ahead and get flying. Here we go. So we're going to be going roughly south. And I am still climbing all the goddamn things there. You little munchers. Alright, and away we go. I know you can time compress these things, but I don't want to. The reason I don't want to is because it's much more effective in terms of just like grasping the nature of the terrain. If you are going to give yourself the opportunity to just fly over it in real time and appreciate the distances for what they are. I recognize that might sound kind of new agey and or kooky, but it's kind of the whole point of this project from my point of view. So this is how I prefer to do it. All right, here we are in flight. We're going over the it says on the map this is Montelparo area. And our target area is right down here, so we're just about on course. Should be a few minutes. This is maybe 30 miles maximum. Probably closer to 20 miles. So 95 knots. That should get us there in a jiffy. I do have the tags turned on, so we can, not for you, for me, so I can see the nearby airfields. Just gives me a reference point as I'm moving around. I wish that the game, the simulator, provided a way to create custom waypoints, and in particular custom polylines drawn on the surface. Then I wouldn't need to pause the game and go into drone mode at all. I could just show you everything while staying in flight and while flying in real time. But this is kind of a new product and it doesn't yet have all the features that I think would really serve it well. Here we go. I can tell you what, I'm an American, and as an American flying over this area, pretending to fly over this area, it feels strange to think that these people know their history back 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years. I don't, in America, we don't really know much history about the land under our feet. And it always just, it feels strange. Small adjustment to the course there. So, I don't know what we're flying over right now, but let's see. Looks like probably you know, I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to get it wrong, guaranteed. And I'm going to feel bad about it. Although it looks like this might be Karasi. Who knows? So, I don't know anything about the route, of course, that the armies took, but I imagine it was fairly direct. The retreating army wouldn't have had time to take anything other than a straight line unless they get cut off from their destination. So I'm guessing that it probably would have been a straight line, not too dissimilar from what we're flying. And of course, the Roman armies under Pompeius would have followed the retreating rebels directly, I assume, rather than meandering out to take the roads. So a straight line sounds very reasonable. By the way, I play Flight Simulator with unlimited fuel. For our purposes, it's not worth going through the extra simulation details just so that just for the simulation experience. I have enough time in this particular airplane's cockpit that I don't really need to deal with extra requirements if I don't have to. And we're getting over the more hilly regions. When I think of Italy, I don't think of rolling hills and farmlands, but it stands to reason that most countries need such land if they're going to feed their population. Okay, so we are getting a little bit closer. Let's So that airport up ahead, I don't actually know where exactly it is, but it should be... Oh, there's two rivers, and I'm looking at the wrong river. Okay, got it. So we'll probably need to hit this river right about here, and then follow it up to its source to find the town that we're seeking. Just over these hills, and we should have the river that we'll follow up. We should almost be there, actually. Come on. It's possible. Right there should be what we're looking for. And true to form, the game is kind of season up a little bit as we move towards a new city. Now, something tells me this isn't what we're looking for. I'm not seeing a city here. Least of all, a city that looks like what I'm looking for. So I think we need to go one more river to the south. But before I do that, let me just confirm. There's nothing fishy going on here. Nah, there's no way. The place we're looking for is kind of stuck between two bigger, almost mountainous hills. So it should be closer to what's off our nose. Like right there, that looks perfect. Let's just assume it's down there. I keep seeing these little rows of yeah, like what's right off our nose right there. I don't know what those lines are. They kind of look funny. Maybe it's just me, but they look funny on my monitor, and I don't understand what I'm looking at precisely. But here we go, we're almost there. This retreat must have taken the soldiers, I don't know how long it takes frightened men to run 25 miles, but maybe a day or two. Some modern technology, we did it in, what was that, 20 minutes? Well, as we approach our destination here, I'm going to go to another tab real quick and do a Google search. This Google search is going to be called MSFS attaching drone to plane. Okay, so here we are over this river. We should be. Oh, I don't even know. Let's go ahead and give a quick little pause. And first of all, figure out how to attach the plane, the drone to the plane. Roll drone, yeah. Reset drone. No. Lock drone to next target. T. Let's try T here. T. Ah, T works. Okay. Excellent. All right, so that's that done, and the other thing we want to make sure and do is that we're check that we're in the right place. So I don't know how I feel about this. We could be way off our target. I'm not doing a great job navigating. But looking here at this map, I'm thinking this right here is where their destination lies. No, that's right. It's going to be the south of that. It's going to be right here. Let me show you how I know that. Switching back over to the Google map. So this the mountain that was off our right wing there would have been this right here, I think. And so then if we continue on past it down here, we should be directly over the area. And I think we do see more hills down there past it that would nestle this little town in a proper valley. So let's get off active pause and see what there is to see. Notice I am losing altitude, which is not exactly what I want to be doing as I'm going into the hilly terrain. Yeah, let's give it a little kick to bring it up slowly towards. Wow, that's not slow. That's fast. Yeah. There we go. That's better. So a little bit further than I thought. Alright, let's just let her level out here and see if we I wonder what I would see if I drove out there. Is this like rich people's houses? Is this more like, say, rural Kansas? And what kind of people would I be running into if I landed my plane there and went into a shop? Okay, so this looks very promising up ahead. So to read the book, all of these little towns were the home of, I want to say the Samites, although I'm not 100% sure on who exactly was populating the rebellion. But it was all these little villages that dotted the hills that were up in revolt against Rome's policy. So I imagine this would have been fairly hostile territory for the Roman legions to be marching through. And vice versa, the population would be inclined to turn and not stick around while the Romans sack their town. Okay, this feels right. This feels right. And it's going to be off my right wingtip. You can, well, if ever stops jumping around. Got it. Right about here is where I'm headed for. And I'm really climbing up good. Maybe I just keep climbing a little bit. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to be losing altitude at a time like this. Says as he loses altitude. Alright, we have nearly completed the march on something. Asculum. Let's take a quick active pause break and zoom in on that area. So I think we're looking at it now. Wait, not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. Yeah, this is it. So I naturally haven't got the foggiest of where to look for the city walls. Such information is not available to us today, I believe. So we'll just fly over it and crash into well, first let's go ahead and take a good look at the city. Okay. And let's draw her up. Okay, so this is my drone. Why is my drone not working? Alright, we will now find out how to unattach the drone from the plane. Yeah. Toggle control tab. Oh, that's stupid. Alright. Wait, control tab. Yeah, okay. I'm not I'm not attached anymore. Okay, that was fun. So there's the mountain, and there's the airplane, and then there's the sad town that was sacked by Pompeius. Okay. Really? Okay, so oh shit. Here we are. Misattached everything from the misattached. That's not even English. I accidentally was showing the wrong screen, which will happen. Okay, so this town, I think, is not even the exact location. I suspect that it's not because everyone seemed real hazy and unwilling to commit about any details about where the town was. The resource I saw on Wikipedia, I think, said that there was actually two cities, two modern cities that together were constituted the ancient city of Asculum. But I lost interest. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to fly over the area that was probably it and put my plane down at a dramatically appropriate location. Okay, so here we are looking over the area. I'm guessing that they would have used the waterways to their advantage in fortifying the city. Like maybe this right here looks like a good area for the city proper. Nice solid hills with good protection. In this narrative, Pompeius followed the retreating army back to this village town. We're calling it a town. And we're gonna call it a city. I think it was actually a city. It was a properly walled city. So Pompeius followed the army back here, and then invested the city for the remainder of the winter until everyone was starving, and they decided to surrender. In the end, they were all killed anyway, so it's not clear whether they got a lot out of surrendering, but that is how they decided to play it. So this is probably where the city was. I'm speculating, but it looks like the most logical area to build a set of walls to keep out the bad guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do, in the story, the rebel commander who was in charge of this city didn't want to join in the surrender because he knew that there would be a loss of honor and also loss of life. So he committed suicide when the city decided to surrender out from under him. And according to the story, he immolated himself at the temple of someone. Temple. There was actually a named god whose temple he burned, but doesn't say, actually. Doesn't say which temple he burned himself in. Anyway, I'm hoping that the temple would have been on a hill, like, say, right about maybe here. I don't know what is there today. Probably a vineyard, or an estate. But that looks like a good target for the final approach. That way we can honor the sacrifice of Gaius Vindicalis, who died with his honor and freedom in a doomed city. Okay, so back to the airplane. And bearing, oh no, it's right there. So right there, this spot right here is where I'm going to target. And shouldn't have too much trouble getting there since it's prominently on a hilltop, as long as I don't screw up too bad. So, I'm going to take off active pause. I'm going to go ahead and reduce power. And let me get it so that I'm actually seeing. Yeah. Okay, so. Let's go ahead and move back into the cockpit real quick. I do not know what my, I don't know what my control is for flaps, but I don't really care either. Back outside. Crash the plane yet? No, good. Okay, so more downward trim would be great. And how far do we have to go? Good. Alright, so it's good enough. We can go ahead and make the turn. I'm not really paying attention to wind. I'm not really landing, so it doesn't matter that much. Plus I have the weather set to ultra easy to fly. Okay. I don't actually want any and was this the spot? We'll say it is. We'll say it is. 500. Here we go, guys. Boom. That looked more like a barn at the last minute, but it's a very honorable barn. So, this has been the Battle of Asculum and the social war of 88 BC. The Pompeius went away from this victory to go ahead and become the what are they called? The a council. I think he became the Council of Rome. I'm not going to go back and look through it, but he got an official position that he really wanted thanks to his efforts in this fight, and he then pursued that position. Filled that position with such avarice that everyone hated him and wanted him dead. And that's the whole story as I know it. So, thanks for joining me on this action-packed flight, and I'll see you next time for Chapter 3. Bye.